Hello, this is John Pival with Access Arts Live. It's 6:30 in the evening on Tuesday, April 1st. No fooling. And which makes it half past noon on the East Coast in the U.S., 9:30 in the morning on the West Coast. It's time for this week's roundup of chamber music and also contemporary music, contemporary compositions. So whether you like classic chamber music or whether you like now music, which is being composed and created now, you're in the right place if you're watching this, especially if you're watching it live. Now, so let's get started with all that. But before we get started, I need to remind you, if you're watching this on Facebook, please like the video. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. You can click on the icon in the lower right-hand corner at the end of the video. If you're watching us on any of our other 4 platforms, we're happy that so many of you like our videos. We'd be even happier if you will actually subscribe or follow us, Access Arts Live, on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Threads, and we will continue to bring you live links to more than 1,000 live performances online here in 2025. We're already well on the way. Now, let's get started with this week's live streams. We have them so many. We have them coming from the US, we have them coming from Europe, we have them coming from Siberia. The only place we don't have them coming from yet is we don't have them coming from down under in Australia or in Latin America, but they should be on the way soon. Let me summon up a photograph to go with the first of this week's live streams. We have 2 huge events which are going on this week, which we want you to know about. I hope this is the right image for you. Here is the first, and that's the Quartet Elvira, which was playing this morning, because there's a huge competition going on at Wigmore Hall this week. The 16th edition of the Wigmore Hall International String Quartet Competition has begun today, April 1st, and continues through the week with high-quality quartets taking part as far as we can see. It's today is the preliminary round 1. It started at 10 in the morning British time, and I think it's still going on now at 6:30 in the evening. We are going to do a separate post in which we give you the times and the live links to each day, because each day this week there are 3 days of preliminary competitions, then there are 2 days of semifinals, then there's a final and the awards being given out. So it's April 1st through the 6th. This competition they bring in top ensembles like the Quartet Elvira, the Quartet, the Myriad Quartet, the Viatores, the Terra String Quartet, Opus 13, etc. And beginning, each of these quartets will be called upon to play 2 contrasting recital programs. So, for instance, the first recital was Haydn alongside Judith Weir's String Quartet number 2, which was actually co-commissioned by Wigmore Hall for the Leon Coro Quartet. And then the second recital was a late Mozart quartet paired with a major 20th century quartet, and so on down the line. There's no time to give you in this post where we're going over the whole week's live streams, everything that's going on in this competition, but Wigmore Hall is one of the top, and according to British people, it is the top venue for chamber hall performances. It's wonderful that they live stream as much as they do. It's free of charge, but they do ask you to donate if you're capable of doing so. We'll give you the link to today's live stream, which is still going on. You can click off of this and go hear it. And we will put out a separate post in which we also give you every day the links and the time to tune in. We'll also give you the link for the full schedule of the preliminary rounds, but I can't give that to you together with this live stream. There's no room for it. So that's one terrific big event going on this week. It's not the only one. I mean, this is very classic chamber music, but at the other end of the week on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the Electronic Music Midwest conference that's going on. Vox Novus director Robert Voise is on his way to Kansas this week to live stream the 3 days of the 23rd annual Electronic Music Midwest Gathering, Friday through Sunday, April 4th to the 6th, with special guest flautist composer Lisa Bost. And there you have a picture of Lisa Bost, who actually goes by the name Lisa Bost Sandberg. She's a very distinguished flautist and a composer and improviser. She's got solid classical foundations, but she composes in contemporary formats. She has been called one of the most important composer performers of her generation. However, I have to take that with a grain of salt, because almost every time you read the promotional blurb about a musician, they say the greatest of his generation or her generation. So I'm not sure what that means, but she's terrific. Now, I don't have room again to give you the links to the whole festival here. We will give you the link to Friday's first concert, which will be at 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's in Kansas, which is 2:30 on the East Coast, 11:30 in the morning on the West Coast, and 8:30 in the evening, Friday evening, for those of you who are in Europe. This event draws people not only just from the Midwest, but from all over the country. And there are 7 concerts total in a separate video we will put out on this subject. We will give you all of the dates and times and the links to each of those live streams. And I'm hoping that I can arrange to do a online live stream interview with Robert Voise about this conference, because he's something of a specialist in contemporary music with his outfit called Vox Novus, which has been around for like 15 years, promoting that kind of thing. To give you an idea of some of what they're going to be doing, here are some of they start out on Friday at 1:30 p.m. in Kansas City. Lisa Bost Sandberg on the flute will be playing a piece by Gene Pritzker. Wait, I got to show you a picture of Gene. Gene Pritzker, if you follow our channel at all, you've heard about Gene Pritzker a lot, because he's with Composers Concordance, and they are constantly live streaming on Facebook free of charge what I call now music. Not new, but now. It just happens now. And it crosses the boundaries between classical and jazz and electronic music and all of that. Anyway, she'll be playing Sorrow Like Pleasure Creates Its Own Atmosphere by Gene Pritzker, that guy you see in the picture pointing at you. Then there'll be Flashes of Lightning, Rumblings, and Peals of Thunder by Benjamin Crumwide or Crumwide or Weed. He'll play it himself on the piano. There'll be Birds by Christopher Cook, played by Mary Hellman on the piano. Lisa Bost Sandberg will then be back playing Old Soul by Jennifer Bernard Merkowitz, and other pieces along that. This is all music that's being created now by people who are living now and who very often are pushing, we're talking about electronic music here. So there's going to be that aspect of all of this music. If you're into electronic music, I'm telling you, this is a huge event for you that you don't want to miss. Oh, and I can tell it's going to take us a while to get through everything this week. There's so much going on. There are at least a dozen of them. And the first 2 were these huge events. So now we move on to what's next up to tell you about, which is March Vivo's live streaming this week. They have their usual trio of sessions on Wednesday and Saturday and Sunday. This week, they involve Russian art song, Latin American women's art song, and classic works for piano and violin, played by a 17-year-old prodigy. So let's see how quickly I can get through these, because you can always follow up with these by going to the YouTube link that we give you, which then also gives you a link where you can look up the actual detailed program. Okay, Wednesday, April 2nd at 6 p.m. European time, March Vivo live streams the last session of Russian music from romance to nationalism, with talented pianist Peter Donahoe playing Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff, and Prokofiev. He's going to be playing a Prokofiev Sonata No. 3 in A minor, Tchaikovsky's Sonata Opus 37, Tchaikovsky's 6 pieces based on a theme, and then finish off with Rachmaninoff's variations on a Chopin theme. Peter Donahoe is a top pianist. He's an older guy, born in 1953. He actually, in his youth, studied under Olivier Messiaen in Paris. And, you know, he's played with all the top orchestras in the world. He's got honorary doctorates in music from 7 universities in the UK. And, you know, he's the kind of guy who would be a jury on one of these competitions, like the string quartet competition or the leads competition or something like that. All right, then on Saturday, April 5th, March Vivo starts your day by live streaming Latin American art songs for and by women on the theme of female protagonism. That's at noon in Madrid time. And this is, they say that female protagonism is the essence of this program. I'm not sure what female protagonism is, except that I think what it means is the protagonist, the principal person, is a woman in all of this. Now, this will be songs and also text, and most of the songs are performed by Juliet Lozano, who's a soprano. Most of the songs are by women too, and all of the texts were written by women. It's Judith Lozano, soprano, Cesar Cañón, piano, and Juan Esteban Coachi acting and delivering the text. This is music by, let me give you particularly the names of the women composers: Irma Urteaga, Maria Piñeros, Mariela Rodriguez, Ernestine Lecuona, Isolina Carrillo, Violeta Parra, and a few men. There's Guastavino and Alberto Ginastera. And Judith Lozano is a Colombian soprano with a master's degree and diploma in opera from the Royal College of Music. And she won the Dame Kirite Konawa's People's Choice Award at the Cardiff Singer of the World competition a couple years ago. Cesar Cañón, the pianist, he's fairly active in opera. Was invited to be was a fellow of the Marola Opera program in 2017 and an Adler fellow at the San Francisco Opera. He's got master's and doctorate degrees from one of my alma maters, the University of Michigan. He works with the Norwegian and Vienna operas. He also conducts the Norwegian National Opera sometimes. And Juan Esteban Coachi, who's doing the text, he's a musician and composer. He's a Renaissance man, and he was named Outstanding Person of Culture of the city of Buenos Aires in 2014. So who better to read Latin American text than him? Well, maybe a woman, but anyway, I digress. Then finally, and that's at noon on Sunday, and corresponding times in Madrid. So, of course, very early in the morning in the U.S. Then on Sunday, 17-year-old violinist Leia Zhu has performed in person in more than 20 countries already, and now she performs for you live, free of charge, in March Vivo's Sunday noon live stream, playing Beethoven, Debussy, Izet, and Saint-Saëns. And, well, I don't know much more to say about that. She's 17 years old, but she's also played with the London Symphony Orchestra, the Zurich Tonehall Orchestra, the Vienna Radio Symphony, etc. She was on Classic FM's list of 30 brilliant young musicians under the age of 30. So she's already played at Carnegie Hall and Wigmore Hall and Pierre Boulez Hall and places like that. Anyway, so that's March Vivo. And we give you the links and the times for all of them. Now we move on to one of my favorites and one of the favorites of early music people. Well, actually, we don't move on to that because we have a brief mention I need to make of something else first. I don't have a photo for this one. Thursday, April 3rd at 3 o'clock European time, St. Mary's Perivale live streams the up-and-coming young Elvira piano trio, playing, of course, piano trios by Mozart and Ravel. I don't have a photo of these people. It's 3 o'clock European time, 9 in the morning on the East Coast, 6 in the morning on the West Coast. They're very new. They just formed in 2022, where they all met at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama and then got into the advanced chamber music course. They seem very ambitious. They'll play Mozart's piano trio in B flat and then Ravel's piano trio in A minor. It's about a 1 hour program. Now we come to, usually when St. Mary's Perivale lets people in, even if they're young, it's because they're good. So I don't think you have to worry about that. But they're up against Wigmore Hall and that violin, the string quartet competition going on all this week. I don't know how they keep drawing people up against that. Seriously. Now we get back to early music, or we get up to early music. Thursday, 1:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Midtown Concert live streams All in the Family, compositions from the Bach family, including Johann Sebastian and C.P.E. Bach, on the harpsichord and viola da gamba, in the hands of early music experts Jeffrey Grossman and Carolyn Nicolas. They're always good. It's the Gotham early music scene which runs this outfit. The Bach pieces that they will play will be BWV 1028 and 1029, as well as C.P.E. Bach's C major sonata. Carolyn Nicolas is a gambist violin cellist who's she's establishing a reputation as a historical performer who plays on period instruments. She's collaborated with the English Concert in America, the Philharmonia Baroque, the Sebastians, Parthenia, and Teatro Nuovo. Meanwhile, the harpsichord is Jeffrey Grossman. He's on the faculty at Yale University. He's a leading harpsichordist in the U.S., and he's the artistic director of the Sebastians, which is, so he may well have already worked together with Carolyn Nicolas there. It's sure to be good quality early music. Now we move on to some not early music, but a very interesting concert. Everything I've mentioned to you so far today is all free of charge, and now we're going to start getting into some concerts that will cost you something. Pianist Richard Goode, a huge favorite at 92 NY, returns there to play short pieces which have caught his ear over the years, as well as one of his signature works, a Schumann sonata, Wednesday, April 2nd at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. They call the concert Fancies and Goodnights, which Richard Goode picked up from a book by the English writer John Collier. And he's quoted as saying, "As a curious traveler will collect objects that catch his eye, these short pieces are among the many that have caught my eye with their beauty, strangeness, and unpredictability." Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, Goode has been playing at 92 NY for a long time. The sonata that they're so happy he's going to be playing is Schubert's B-flat Major Sonata, D960. It was recorded by Goode years ago, back in 1987. So he's had decades to explore and deepen his understanding and performance of it ever since. 92 NY calls this, quote, "one of the great piano events of the season," unquote. It will cost you, though, $25. We'll give you the link to where you buy the ticket. And now for something completely different, a completely different world. Although if it were in New York City, you know, they have everything in New York City. There isn't any different world in New York City. There's just the whole world in a certain way. I've studied this kind of thing, so I'm about to say something that I know about. In its origins, poetry was a dynamic performing art, not a bloodless mental exercise, so dangerous that Plato felt he had to ban it from society. And happily, the Kennedy Center live streamed some very robust and full-bodied poetry Wednesday, April 3rd at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's right. It is going to be Words, Beats, and Life's Festivals Combined Poetry All-Stars. The Words, Beats, and Life Festival is taking place April 3rd through 6th in D.C., and included in it are poetry contest and performance poetry contest, sometimes referred to as slam, but it's from love poetry to haiku, from battle verses to crowd pleasers, and it'll be Will Cook, who is a master of love poems, Amush, who makes precise observations with love and wisdom, Malpractice, who they say is the people's favorite, Poetic Soul, who is called the OPP champ, bringing heat to the mic, Nerd the Poet, a lyrical renaissance man, and teen poets Sania Pearson and Precious Foreman, showcasing the next generation, they tell us, of poetic brilliance. Well, hey, more power to them. It's not my kind of poetry. I did win a Hopwood Award for poetry when I was a young man at the University of Michigan, and I then thereafter became an Edith R. Mirialese Poetry Fellow in the Creative Writing Program at Stanford University. So I do know something about poetry. None of the poetry I did was anything like it, but I have learned in the course of my life, it did occur to me that the origins of poetry in the classical times, they came before literature, before things were written down to be read in a corner silently. It was all performance. Sappho, Homer, Pindar, it was all performance. I had this terrific classical studies professor at Stanford University when I was reading Greek and Latin, Lionel Pearson. And I'll never forget him sort of dancing across the front of the room. He was like 75 years old at the time. This little guy dancing step by step across the room, according to the rhythms of one of Pindar's poems. This was like glorious. It was amazing. Anyway, poetry. So that's that, and I can commend it to you to find out what the youngins are doing in terms of, youth open mic and poetry slam. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Okay. Now we have a few more. I don't have photos for everything that we're talking about because some things we just don't have. So I will just mention briefly. Next up is on Friday, April 4th, members of the National Symphony Orchestra will be gracing the Kennedy Center Millennium stage in a string trio live stream of viola, cello, and bass. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And we don't know what they're going to be playing. So it's Mahoko Eguchi on the viola, Rachel Young on the cello, and Paul Dinola on the bass. So there's no violin in there, folks. But it's free of charge. And if you are, as the Swedes would say, sugen för, if you have a hungry for some chamber music, they're members of the National Symphony Orchestra. And it's usually a pretty good quality presentation that they put on. We still have a few more to go for you. And I'm sure today we're going all the way to 30 minutes on this because there's so much going on. We still have three more live streams to tell you about. This next one I've already talked about in the organ recital roundup today, but it bears mentioning here too. Art Bene live streams an early music evening by candlelight with music by Bach and the Venetians he liked, Vivaldi and Marcello, played by Tempus Novum Art, a violin, cello, and organ ensemble, Saturday at 7 p.m. European time. That's going to be at 8 o'clock Moscow time, noon on the East Coast, 9 in the morning on the West Coast. Tempus Novum Art, I think it's a very unusual ensemble because it's violin, cello, and organ. They'll be joined by Elena Lopukina, a mezzo-soprano, and what they have done is put together some works by Bach, 3 choral preludes from the collection organ book, and a Fantasia and Fugue in C minor, which I'm sure will be an organ. Maybe all of that will just be the organ, because very often the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow, where this is happening, that's what they do. They have separate moments for the organ to play alone. Then they'll do Vivaldi's Stabat Mater, RV 621, Alessandro Marcello's Adagio, then Vivaldi's Trio Sonata in C minor, RV 83, and Nisi Dominus, RV 608. And I am certain that among those things, the Stabat Mater and the Nisi Dominus will involve Elena Lopukina, soprano. I think that's an interesting concert to tune in just to see, what is this? What is this this string and organ ensemble? Where did that come from? It's a great idea. Next. Well, in what promises to be an exceptional recital for cello and early music fans, top cellist Albin Gerhardt will be playing all 6 of Bach's cello suites this Sunday, live streamed by the 92 NY venue at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That too will cost you $25. That's 2 o'clock on the East Coast, 11 in the morning on the West Coast, Sunday morning, 8 o'clock in the evening in Europe, Gerhardt is one of the top cellists in the world. So if you're interested in Bach and you're interested in the cello, have at it. Of course, I neglected to show you his picture, or it didn't load. I tried to load it for you, and there it is. There's his picture. We're almost done, folks. Those of you who've stayed with us, thank you so much for staying with us all. There's one more concert on Sunday to tell you about. And this will be an hour after the 92 NY concert. So if you want to wait an hour, you can get something for free, although they do encourage you to make donations. Horizon Ensemble, founded in 2021, devotes its 13th concert to celebrating the artistic revolutionary voices of Massachusetts through orchestral music and poetry on Sunday afternoon in Boston, live on YouTube at 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Daylight Time. Horizon Ensemble is located in Boston, and they're devoted to playing Massachusetts music. On this program, they'll be playing, but they also commission music. They put out calls for new compositions on a regular basis, and they've done this. They have, 10 or 15 new compositions over the years. Each of their concerts, they have a new composition. So this time they have a composition by Australian composer John Rotar, and it's called Kunar, and it was composed now in 2025. Then they'll do a piece called Paul Revere, also composed this year. Both of these are world premieres, and it was by Ben Nakar, who is very well known to the group. They refer to him as their friend. And he was inspired by Longfellow's poem about Paul Revere and the 250th anniversary of Paul Revere. And Paul Revere, of course, was a Massachusetts man who was involved in the Revolution. And then they'll do a piece by Amy Beach, who's also from Massachusetts, if you didn't know that, Jephthah's Daughter, composed 1903. And they'll finish up with Leonard Bernstein's Symphony No. 1. And he is not from Massachusetts that I know of, but what do I know? Well, that about covers it for what we have to tell you about for this week's live streams of the performing arts. It is just such a prodigious amount of live streams to tell you about. I just want to mention one more thing very quickly. Stage Plus has 2 live streams this weekend. It's pianist Lang Lang on Saturday, April 5th at 8 in the evening. He's playing lots of mazurkas and 1 polonaise by Chopin, and then 1 piece by Schumann and 1 piece by Fauré. And then on Sunday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon European time, Stage Plus is live streaming Fabian Müller playing Beethoven sonatas, number 15, number 3, number 24, and number 30. But I don't know why you would tune into that and pay $9.90 to enjoy it when you can get Boris Gilsberg doing the same thing at Wigmore Hall for nothing. Anyway, I hope you that one or more or some or any of these live streams inspire you or uplift you or just show you a great time. And I will be back later in the week with more follow-up. We will have follow-up clips going out, videos going out about the Wigmore Hall International String Quartet Competition and the Electric Music Midwest Conference coming up later this week, and hopefully a live stream interview with Robert Voisi, who's going to be out there in Kansas with Vox Novus to live stream it all, which I think is terrific. The guy's got great energy and ambition, and I applaud that. Meanwhile, if you're watching this on Facebook, please like the video. If you're watching on YouTube, please click on subscribe. And if you're watching on any of our 4 other platforms, X, TikTok, Instagram, or Threads, please like and or subscribe to Access Arts Live. And in return, we'll continue to provide you with live links to more than 1,000 live performances in 2025. Ciao for now. Until the next time I see you.